Here's a quick scenario. Let's say you are underweight and you decide that you want to gain some weight and build some muscle. Now you decide to go to gym for 6 months consistently and you eat a well-balanced diet. Now, how much muscle do you think you are going to gain? How much weight do you think you're going to gain in contrast to if you do the same thing for 4 years? Obviously, over 4 years, you will gain more muscle and you will gain more weight. This is because you gain experience, and also as you do it over and over again, you keep on improving. The reason I'm putting this as an example before I go into the video is because we overestimate what we can do in 6 months and underestimate what we can do in 4 or 5 years. And this is in relation with anything, whether you are improving yourself or you are getting an education or you are starting a business. We think about the outcome that we want to achieve before we get to that outcome. And then we start pressuring ourselves to get to that outcome within 6 months, maybe because we compare ourselves with somebody that actually motivated us to go into that journey ourselves. But what we fail to realize is to see that this person, for them to be where they are, they had to put in the work for a certain period of time. It could be 12 months if they were lucky, and if they are like everyone else, it could be 5 to even 10 years or even more. But our problem is that we are not patient enough and we want quick results. Maybe this is because of the social media age that we live in. This is because of the YouTube era that we are in, the YouTube that I'm involved in. But if you are realistic with yourself and you are being honest with yourself, you will realize that success in anything, this is why I'm not talking specifically entrepreneurship or a job and education. I'm saying success in anything requires you to put in work for a certain period of time. And when you put in the work for a certain period of time, there are many things that happen in order for you to actually reach that success. This is what it looks like. You may stumble, fail, and when you fail, you take that failure, repeat again, and you try not to do what you did last time that led you to failure because you learned your lesson. That is what we call experience. With that experience, you know that if you do the certain mistake that made you fail in the past, then in the future or now as you are going into the very same thing, whatever it may be, you don't repeat that same mistake, or you try not to repeat the same mistake. Another way you can also do this is by looking at other people's mistakes and learning from them and applying them to yourself. Because remember, success leaves clues, right? But even if success leaves clues, even if you can take someone else's mistakes and learn from them, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will not face your own tribulation and your own treacherous journey. You will have to go through it, and after you've went through it, only then you will see success. This is the reason that most people fail. I believe that most people fail because they want to achieve the success within 6 months or within a year, when they probably are embarking in a journey that takes many other people many, many years. It could be 5 years, 10 years, or even more. You want to build muscle, you want to be a bodybuilder, even if you take PEDs, you will not build the muscle without hard work, without putting in the work for a certain period of time. If you're a natural bodybuilder like myself and you want, actually I'm not a bodybuilder, but if you want to add some muscle to your frame, which I have achieved over 3 years now consistently, I'm still not where I want to get, but I understand now with experience and with the period of time that I've been training that it will take me another 2 years before I reach my peak, which is my own natural limit. And once I've reached my own natural limit, then I think I will be happy at that point, because that's the body goal that I want, which is natural and attainable. But when I started out, I wanted it within 6 months, and within 6 months it almost looked as if I was not putting in the work. Yes, there was a little bit of muscle because of newbie gains, but then after a period of time I stopped gaining muscle. I would gain strength, but muscle is much, much slower. This applies with anything. You are getting an education, you are learning to code like I'm learning to code, you are starting a YouTube channel, and you want to have 1,000 subscribers or 20,000 or even 1,000,000 subscribers. You cannot get those numbers with your first video, where of course there are people who could do that, but the exception to the rule is not the majority. So this also applies to building muscles. A genetic freak is not the majority. They are a genetic freak because they are unique. And that's pretty much it with today's Monday Mindset video. I'll see you in the next one. Watch the previous video, subscribe to the channel. Yeah.